I'm going to dive into the rich tapestry of art and the profound teachings of Jesus Christ, the complexities of emotions, and peel back the layers to uncover social truths like onions in a hot dog. I'm your host, Jared, and today we're joined by the incredible Melanie Wendt, an actress hailing from the heart of Butte, Montana, known for her dynamic performances and authentic storytelling. Melanie is here to share her journey in the world of acting, her insights on the craft, and what it means to create art in today's world. Get ready for a flavor explosion in every bite. Before we get started, a quick disclaimer: the views and opinions in this podcast are those of the guests and hosts, not professional advice, and for entertainment and information only. Consult qualified professionals for specific concerns. We're just here sharing our life experiences and perspectives. So, as we dive into these diverse topics, let's remember to seek your own truth and knowledge. Love God, love people, and treat thy neighbor as thyself. Let's fire up the grill and savor the wisdom and insights that await us. Welcome, Melanie.
Thanks, Jared. That was a heck of an introduction. I'm really excited to be here. So thank you for that.
You're most welcome. You're my guest. I treat my guests as better than me. So, you are from Butte.
I am.
Uh, and
Sure am.
how did growing up there influence your path in acting?
Honestly, being in Butte and knowing what a thick, rich, diverse artistic culture it always has had. I mean, Butte was kind of the vaudeville of Montana back in the day. So being able to get back in touch with those roots and not only bring film back to Butte and help, be part of that culture, but to also be part of the theater culture here in Butte has been really awesome. I've been able to perform on stages that have had performances on them for over 100 years, and just to be a part of that history and be a part of that legacy is so insane.
I want to say kudos to that because I personally have seen, and correct me if I'm wrong, but even over the past, like this past year, I've seen a little bit more in Butte start to pop up. And you were
Oh,
part
really?
of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Was that a first time thing for Butte, or has it been a while? Like, what's
No,
the
that honestly, it was a first time thing, and I'm really honored to have been a part of that. The Covalite Theater, which it was a church back in Butte forever ago, and it's gone through a lot of reincarnation since then. It was recently, I think back in August, I could be wrong on the date, but within the last year, it was purchased by a new owner manager, and they have been getting open mic nights, comedy shows, movie screenings, all sorts of stuff in there. And so when it came time, October rolled around, they're like, let's do a Halloween thing. And so they had auditions for just a shadow performance of Rocky Horror. And the group that got together and did that loved each other so much and had so much fun doing that. That start of November, we're like, okay, what's next? So we did a Christmas cabaret. And so it was a whole bunch of live singing and dancing and burlesque, and it was 18 and up. And so it was really fun. And every single show that the Covalite Players has put on so far, our three, has sold out. So it just shows you
That's
that
so
you
cool.
we're craving this artistic outlet. We're craving this opportunity. So it's been really fun to be a part of that and to get that up and going.
There's it's if people don't know Montana and the film communities. Well, one, the state of Montana is like a shy of a million people.
Mm.
You shrink that down to the arts and the film community, it's going to be a few thousand, and even smaller the film community. But there's and also all these big cities are so spread apart. Like
Yeah.
it's like hours apart, if not over 100 miles apart. So there's different little hubs. And so Butte has, and I've seen because I'm friends with you, so I've seen more of your stuff, but I have seen it start to grow with the artistic expression of another little hub, which is awesome because that's the whole point that we're trying to do here, is spread that art in that film community throughout Montana and just really, really bring it back to the home front because art's important, all
It
shapes and
really
sizes.
is. It really is important. And honestly, Butte has been really good about having a standalone children's theater program for a while. Like they have the Orphan Girl, so it's not through the school, so it's not at risk of being cut. Like it is
Yep.
being there. But it's been a hot minute since we've had an adult theater club where we can get together and play around and just be silly and get on stage and do these fun things. So knowing now that, like I said, during the cabaret, we had people coming up to us afterwards saying, when can I audition? When's the next thing? I'd love to be a part of this. So like you said, having that hub and having more of an energized presence here in Butte has been really, really nice.
You know what I really I watching, I unfortunately wasn't able to come to one of your performances, but seen all the social media posts and just all the really awesome feedback. What a lot of the I feel that a lot of things around Montana as far as, just trying to do things like what you're doing is just trying to get a time and place to meet. That's it.
Yeah,
Just
it is.
meet up and
Because you
not
meet
just
up.
network,
Yeah,
but
yeah, just
actually
like get
go
together.
do something else besides the networking and actually create a project, create something, create an opportunity for other artists.
It really is
So
hard, and, like, we were so lucky that Demetrius, when he got the Covalite, was looking for an opportunity to have people in, so, like, we had a location that wanted people, and we had people that needed a location, so we got really lucky in that opportunity, but that it's hard getting a group of creatives together to be able to actually have the space and time to create.
'cause you know what the funny thing is? A lot of us creatives, we're a lot of introverts.
Yeah, we're introverts
So
that just want to have our little groups of people and play together, but it's hard to go in
yeah,
with just groups
and
of
not like
people.
and sometimes not all the time. Like, we'll do spurts, like, if we film something, we're on set for 12 hours, right? We'll have those spurts, but at the end of the day, we do like our own caves. We like to
Oh, yeah.
escape, to our own little areas, but getting out of that, mindset, and fear and just whatever it is as far as, like, a group gathering or just like, "Okay, I don't," because being a creative, it's an expression of emotion, but it's a path that sometimes there's not, like, any guidance. You just gotta kind of
Yeah.
dive in, make
You really have
mistakes.
to, and you have to be incredibly vulnerable too. Like, you have to be willing to be vulnerable and put yourself in positions and, like, situations that don't normally come up, and you have to be willing to, like, go for it. Like, there's gonna be auditions out there, and that could be your chance in, but if you're not ready for it, then you're not gonna have that opportunity, and that's, like, the saddest part.
That's being ready for those opportunities, it's like preparing the fields for rain, you know?
Mhm.
Um, but just also the people it's scary to be vulnerable, even as an artist, it's
Oh, yeah.
still scary. So, but in those areas of vulnerability, the other people around you, you have to trust them, and they
Mhm.
have to be a gracious, kind human being and understanding to feel safe and feel trusted to be vulnerable. And so it's a that's why it's a collaboration. It's why it's a it's I don't think there's no mistakes that are made as far as like art. There's just room for growth. And when
Mhm.
people are so hard on themselves, like, oh, I messed up on that, or look at my painting from 5 years ago. I really screwed that up. And it's like, whoa, don't
Look
be
where
so
you've
mean
come in
on
5
yourself.
years,
Yeah, look how far you've come in 5 years, or you know what I mean?
right.
Like, look at the growth. You know, a tree doesn't
Oh,
look
yeah.
back on itself as a sapling. And go, look at that weak little
Oh, look at that
sapling.
little thing. Look at that guy over there. No, they're like, "Look at how far I've come." And honestly, I know that, like, back to social medias and everything like that, I'm probably annoying a lot of people with all of my posts, especially about somewhere and everything. Like, I want to
No,
post it, I want to be proud of it, and I'm sure people are annoyed of that. But I look where I was 5 years ago, and I didn't know you. I didn't know Mr. McTavish. I didn't know half the people that I'm lucky enough now to call as friends. And I look at that growth, and I'm so thankful for it. Like, where am I going
yeah,
to be in 5 years from now? It's nice to, like, once you kind of switch that mindset and, like, don't look at, oh, I'm not where I want to be. Look where you used to be. It's so much nicer just having that positive outlook.
it is, and it's nice to like you and I. We met when I was casting for a little horror movie just a handful of years ago,
Yep.
and heck, and that was a little project where people just showed up. They just showed up for a few days. Heck, you were camping and sleeping in a tent.
It's so much fun.
And that's when we first met. And just seeing your performance, but ever since then, though, every time, and you showed up for that, like you prepared. Heck, you knew everyone else's lines, like you were prepared. So those are the things that I teach my students to in acting studios. Like when you show up the best you can with what you got, and your job is to make everyone else's job easier.
Hmm.
So if you don't show up and you don't know your lines and you were trusted to do that, how is the other artists around you supposed to be able to trust you? How are you supposed to be able to do your art properly if the other people around you aren't taking that initiative as well?
Exactly. And it goes like future jobs too. If they think that they, hey, I couldn't trust her for this job, I'm not going to be able to trust her for any future jobs. Like, that's just how that works.
Yeah. And I've been on big projects where that's what it is. It's showing up, being gracious and kind and professional, and just being also very humble as far as the opportunities that you're given. Like,
Oh, sure. Some of the
blast
biggest
full
actors that I've
sorry,
been
go ahead.
able to work with so far, like the biggest names that I've been able to work with, are the most humble people I've met. Like,
Mhm.
they there's no ego to them. They understand that we're all artists. We're all wanting just to come here and create, and we're all here for a reason. And you can tell the people that are here for the right reason and the people that are there just to want to be famous. And that's not the same thing.
You know what has helped my eye? Just really will step back and just listen and observe and just see how people's character traits are. And
Hmm.
for me personally, as an artist, the character traits that I vibe with are the ones that pursue the art of or their passion, not because they're gonna be rich and famous someday. Not they're gonna win an award for it. Not that they're gonna be rich and famous. It's that they're just showing up and just there's something in us as artists. We didn't choose it. It's not like they lined us
No,
up in kindergarten and go, "Hey, you get to pick something that is going to eat you up if you don't do it. You're going to get depressed if you don't do it."
going to literally feel like you want to crawl out of your skin if you
Yeah,
can't go and do this for a while. Yeah,
yeah.
no, it's
So what is that, kids? No, that's not how
yeah.
this
You down
works.
for that?
It's
No,
it's discovering it. And it's
I-
like so once you discover it, you're like, I don't know why, but it just drives me.
it does. Just wanting
That's what
to get to
wakes me
that
up in the
next
morning.
point. It's my iPad back screen. It says "Stay hungry, stay humble," and that's how I live my life. Like, I'm hungry for that next step, but good God, I'm gracious for everything that I've gotten to be here.
Yeah.
Like, that's
So
how you got to look at it.
what was your first big break? Or like what was
Nexus
your
of
big
Evil.
break?
That Nexus was honestly my first biggest break. I did a lot of theater up until then, and then a lot of life got in the way, and I didn't get to act for 5 years at that point, and I kind of just said screw it one day, and there was an open casting call for an agency, and I signed with her, and then I was getting casting calls on my Facebook all the time. Saw the one for Nexus, put it in. I'm like, you know what? Let's just freaking do it. So
Yeah.
that was it. And honestly, it was because of you that I got that hunger at first, and that's why I came on set and knew all the lines, because I wanted to prove that I could. I think I read that script every day between the getting cast and showing up on set. I
Because
was so
we didn't
excited.
have we didn't have much time with the script.
We really didn't. I think it was
Like a
3
week and
weeks?
a half,
Yeah.
2 weeks
Very barely any, yeah, it was barely anything.
for a
But
feature
I
film.
know I had all the note cards, I had them, like, taped up on my desk, I was going through everything, but that
I
was
was
my first
very
big. And
impressed.
thank you. And look at, I
Eh,
mean, now we're here with Somewhere, like, we're same kinda group of people, so it was
so
a kind of
yeah,
fun to see where we came from.
um, I know the story, but the people that are listening and watching don't. So from Nexus of Evil to this upcoming movie that's going to be released tomorrow in selected
Turn
theaters,
on my lights.
um, where do you see like the leaps and bounds as far as like going from here to here and how being part of a community and just showing up the best you can with what you got has gotten you from there to here?
Honestly, I growing up in Montana, kind of getting back to that, we are always told like you're never going to be an actor. There's not going to be any opportunities. There's not going to be anything like that. So every single set I've been on, every stage I've been on, every opportunity I've gotten since then, I'm so excited for and so grateful for. And I think honestly, like wanting to do it, like there's not a whole lot of money, especially up here in Montana acting. You like you said, it has to eat you alive to want to do it. I think going from Nexus to Somewhere, like sure, Nexus, I was one of the main characters. Somewhere I'm supporting, but Somewhere's a bigger project. So even though it's like on the outside it might look like I took a step down, it was so big to me to even get that call to be on Somewhere. Like I was on set for 2 days as opposed to a whole week before, much bigger impact. Like knowing in myself that I can do the bigger roles and that I can get the bigger projects, and knowing that I've met the people that I have, that I continue to learn from, that I continue to take advice from, that I continue to like look for things for, I see that I can do this. And I know that might sound a little full of myself, but I know I have the drive, and I know I have the hunger, and I know I have the support. and the people here in Montana that I can continue to learn from, and the people from LA, prayers with them right now. I can continue to learn from them and I can continue to go there. And that's all I want to do. I want to learn. I want to be on set and work with some of the bigger names to see how they perfect this craft, and then where can I could take that. Do I need to make $12 million while doing it? I mean, that'd be cool. That's not my goal. That's not
Right.
my goal.
Yeah.
So honestly, where I've been the last 5 years, Nexus is what started the spark, and I'm so glad that I get to keep working with you and Brandon and Eden and Judy and everyone else over at Novavento, because they're like, you guys gave me my first shot, and I'm always going to be grateful for that.
Yeah. And they gave me my first shot too. So
And
it's a ripple effect of just at the end of the day, we don't make much money at this point because we're gonna change that. We're changing that.
good there.
But the humble beginnings are always gonna be there, and I'm always gonna remember them because it's not like I'm out of it yet. But
Yeah,
we're making moves because we care about our community, we care about our stories, and we care about the art.
yeah,
So
that's all that really matters.
it's that creative inspiration, right? And so who or what inspired you the most in your acting journey?
Gosh, that's a hard question. Like, it's gonna sound kind of.
There's more than one person that inspires you.
I mean, like, you can always look at, the actors that I grew up watching, like Jennifer Lawrence, love her to death. Now that you've asked me, I'm gonna blank on all the actors I've ever loved ever. Jennifer Aniston, Angelina Jolie, like all of these actors that like I idolized. Catherine Winnick plays Lagatha in Viking. She is tough, she's strong, she's badass, she's blonde and beautiful. Like that's what I want to, and like that's what I want to be. But when it's actually like who inspires me to get up in the morning and to do the auditions, even if I feel like I'm not gonna get it, to my husband and my kids. Like, especially my husband. He met me at 16 when I was not the person that I am today. And I was very broken. And I had all these wild, wild dreams of I'm going to go to LA and I'm going to be an actress. And he's my Montana guy who's just okay. And he came along for the ride. And every single step of the way, he's been there and busting his ass in his day job. And like, I want to succeed and I want to do well at this to say thank you to him and to show my kids that live for your dreams, try your dreams, go for your dreams. There's nothing holding you back other than yourself. Just do it. And so, like, that's my biggest inspiration. Waking up every morning is the three of them.
Yeah, that's that was kind of a loaded question, but very very well handled. But yeah, it's like there's like the artist inspirations, and then there's like the emotional inspirations, and the
Yeah, that makes
emotional
sense.
inspirations is family. It's the community. It's like yes, when I started an actor back in the day, before I know what I knew now, did I want to get rich and famous? Absolutely.
That's the
Absolutely.
fun part.
I was a young 20-year-old. Like, hey, people tell me I'm hot. So I'm gonna go be an actor and be a millionaire. And then it when it didn't happen the way that I wanted it to, you have to readjust. You have to be like, okay, what am I doing with my life? Like, what is the actual meaning to all of this? And you're absolutely right. It's the community, it's your family, it's your friends, it's the
Yeah.
people that are there for you. That
I honestly, I have people that I went to high school with, and I went to a tiny, tiny high school, like 10 kids in my graduating class, tiny. There are people that I haven't seen since high school that'll message me and be like, "Gosh, I love watching your journey. I love watching what you're doing. I like you're so inspiring." And I'm like, "Okay, now I'm doing this for you too. Like it's not just for me. It's not just for it's for you. If I'm inspiring you, then this is for you too." Like
yeah,
there's so many it's a multifaceted drive at this point. Like you said, when we were young, dumb, and 19, it used to be for money and fame. At this point, it feels like there's just so much more behind it.
yeah. I don't think it's in me at all anymore for to doing it for any other reasons besides for my community.
Yeah.
Like I kind of stepped away from acting. Uh, you know, not like step away like I wouldn't do it, but it's not my focus anymore.
Yeah.
Like that's
Sometimes you
not
just
like
evaluate.
like I get auditions and there's times where I'm just like, I just really don't want to audition. I just don't
Yeah.
want to spend the time to I'm just gonna go hang out with my kids. Like I don't want to set it all up and all this stuff. I'm just like,
Yeah, and
it's
if
all
it's
good.
not there, it's not there, and that happens.
And
But
but
you know that you're
the
gonna get that audition where you read it and you're like, "Yes, I want this role, I
right.
want to do this more than anything," and then it takes no problem, it's like no work at all.
Yeah, and so it's just nice to have that. Um, so what's Montana's influence on, your perspective and then your approach to your craft, compared to, actors in the major entertainment hubs like LA, Atlanta, New
Uh,
York, now Texas,
Now Texas. Good luck, Texas.
right?
Honestly, I think being a Montana girl, I mean, I had horses, we worked in the ranch, there was fishing and hunting. I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. And if that means that, hey, I'll be a PA on this set for a minute, or I can go help and scout locations, or hell, if it means, sorry, I'm actually rolling around in mud and doing my own stunts, I don't have a problem with it. Like, I don't look at myself as the hoity-toity LA actress with, the nails always done and like that stereotype that we're always kind of shown, but of actress. I don't consider that. I'm still a Montana girl. I still have no problem doing the hard work. I'll throw weight around. If I need to lift and carry things, I will. I also have a really bad problem of saying yes. And I think that's a lot of Montana in me. There was a project that I was offered. They were like, hey, can you do a handstand? Um, my first handstand was that day we shot, but I told him I could and I did. But I think it's also a very, very Montana, like, we're just going to do it. Yeah, you need me to do it. I'm going to do it, even if I'm not entirely sure if I can. So I think that, and then like you said kind of before, we're in our separate hubs. Like Butte is its own culture, Missoula is its own culture, Billings is its own culture. And I'm kind of lucky enough where Butte is equidistance from all of the big things, so I can travel like 3 hours max and be in any of the big cities. But I get to drive through some of the most gorgeous countrysides every time I do that. So seeing that and seeing like the wide open space and then seeing how like in somewhere in Montana the cinematography completely captures that. It's just it broadens your vision and opens your eyes both literally and like figuratively to just see how much there is out there. Like how like just the grandiose of Montana. Like there's so much potential, there's so much opportunity, and it's just can't not be awe inspired by it.
It's funny, like, when people come from out of state and they, because 'cause we're used to it, and I don't take it for granted. I used to back in the day, but I don't take our beautiful landscape. Even I'm not a huge fan of the cold or the winter, but I know it has its purpose. It's a season, it's not permanent.
Mm. Yeah.
And so, just embracing the culture, but just seeing, people that come from out of state and they just see it, and they're just, like, in awe. And there are times where I'm just like, "With that's just the Mission Mountains. So
We
that's
see that
just the
every day.
Flathead Lake. That's just what are you talking about?"
Just
Like, I see that, like, every other day, And they're
yeah.
just like, but then you just gotta put yourself in their shoes, and they come from not that.
Yeah, they don't see that every day.
And so, I've had nothing but, respect from a lot of people from out of state, that come in, that they come here and they respect it. Like, I personally have not worked with anybody that has never came into our state and respected it,
No, same.
in the film industry.
And you have these actors that travel the world and have seen some of the most gorgeous things out there, and they come to Montana and treat us like we're one of the most gorgeous things out there. And like you said, it's respect. They want to help preserve the beauty that we have. They're not, I know that the news and the locals make it seem like everyone from the Hollywood and movie industry wants to come and destroy Montana. That's not true. They really don't.
Well, it's just like with anything, if you don't know the actual information, you're just gonna take what someone said and then play that game telephone, like when you play when
Mm-hmm.
a kid, you're gonna play that, and it's okay. But the funny thing is, the people that are kind of hurting Montana are Montanans. They're the
Yeah.
ones that are selling to the people that are coming from out of state, not just California. It's actually
Yeah.
majority from other states,
Yeah.
and a lot of Californians are not even coming to Montana. They're going to like Wyoming and other places. Anyways,
And the people that are
uh,
moving here aren't necessarily the people that are making the movies here.
well, I just worked on 1923 for 3 weeks, and they didn't use any Montanans, hardly any. So they didn't. And it's not like they came up here and moved up here and bought houses. No,
No.
they stayed in the hotels for a
Yeah.
few weeks and then they headed out of town. So it's like, I just say, hey, it's okay. I understand all you hear is Yellowstone and news stuff. Well, if you actually just talk to somebody that actually is in it, will tell you that it's not
Yeah.
out of staters hurting Montana. It's not us talking about it on Yellowstone. It's not us making movies about it. Like,
No.
it's like, it's okay. We're here respecting it. We're working with people that are also respecting it. That's all you can control. And
Mhm.
it's what because yeah, I'm from here and I'm full support of it. And
Oh, I'm for sure.
there's so much more so much more positivity in filmmakers up here that are just like, hey, here we are.
Here we are.
Let's
We just
use
wanna
our
do it.
we
Yeah.
just want to do it,
We just wanna make art.
So
That's all it is.
somewhere in Montana,
Yeah. Let's talk
this
about it.
movie was made by locals. Speaking of locals, it is it's a balancing of art and faith and all that fun stuff, right?
It really
Um,
the message back
and
on.
just it's like two worlds combining and just a powerful message. Um, what was your without of course giving any it's being
No
released
spoilers.
tomorrow, January 10th. Look at
Spoiler-free
location.
zone.
What was like one of your fond memories of your 2 days on set filming?
Honestly, a lot of it, but my favorite was the wrap party after we finished filming. Um, when I had to leave the next day, we just all went back to the hotel and just sat there, hung out by the fire, and just told stories. And I think just by listening to everyone's stories, you realize IMDb credits aside, we're all fangirls in one way or another. We're all fans of somebody. We all like the art that we like. We all want to do this for the right reasons. And it's really interesting when you see um, movies about Hollywood or like the way films make Hollywood seem. It always seems like, oh, it's so aggressive and egotistical, and I got to be the best and screw the other people that are out for the same roles as me. That could
Yeah,
not be further from the truth. It
it's not a
really
competition.
cannot be. I remember stepping into the one scene, bar scene, without giving too much away. It was my first time actually meeting Tasha, and she and I have become incredibly close friends since then. But she got a role that I auditioned for, and that's fine. But the way I met her was her coming up and congratulating me on a role that I had gotten that she had auditioned for. And it was kind of like we kind of clicked at that moment. We're like, oh, okay, like we're both blonde, we're both Montana girls. And there's another Cheyenne. She wasn't a part of this film, but she's another blonde Montana girl. And we all get the same auditions all the time because it's a small industry, especially in the state. And it's kind of gotten to the point where when we read like the disco or the bio of the character, we kind of know who's more into it because we all fit a different feel, a different look. And it was honestly in that moment, I'm like, this isn't a competition. This isn't a contest. It truly is just what color of paint makes this painting look the best in this vision. Like it's not egotistical. It's not everything that Hollywood makes Hollywood seem to be. Like it's weird. And so sitting there in like around the bonfire, just having listening to everyone talk about, oh, on my first set or on this set, I got to work with this guy. And it's like we are just all artists who want to create and have fun and play and just fangirl about our own things. And it really was kind of a nice, like, come full moment. Like, you can still geek out about these things and still be proud of yourself at the same time. Like, it was really fun.
Those moments are, you know, if you ever, you meet somebody that you've only seen their face and their voice in a character on a screen, and you make up your own reality of who they are. And then, of course, you can see behind the scenes stuff, and maybe especially nowadays, you can see celebrities more often in their own personal world. But just seeing like when I had my experience in LA and even up here working on some pretty decent shows with some decent names and meeting people that are iconic,
Hmm.
you know? And I'm like, you hear them talking on the phone and if it's a personal conversation and you're like, that's crazy. They just, yeah, they have, they're a mother, they're a daughter, they're a
Yeah.
father, they're a
Got
brother, they
stuff
got
going on
family.
too.
They got friends that've known them since they were young that don't take them serious, you know?
Right? Like,
you
they
know?
got people in there that, roll their eyes, their kids think they're not cool. Like,
Right.
they're all human. That's so
They're all
cool.
human. And
It's
it's
great.
the artistic expression. It's what they can deliver, So
Yeah.
it's um, you know, just that being said, and having all the like some productions coming up here, and there's like the tax incentives and voting on tax stuff and what we can do around here and what we actually have control over and what we can actually do directly in our communities and what we can actually do, and that's supporting your local talent.
Mhm.
So, what advice would you give to aspiring actors in smaller towns or rural areas like Montana for them wanting to pursue their craft?
We live in such an awesome opportunistic time right now where location doesn't matter as much. We have social media. If you want to act and you have dreams, get on TikTok. Look up monologues of shows that you've watched before that you like and give them, deliver them, act to your phone. Give us whatever you can that way. Look for local theater troops. Look, even if it seems like a little rinky dinky, no one's going to go there, you might make some of your best friends for your life. You might learn some impressive things. I went out for Rocky Horror. One of our dancers danced on Broadway and is damn good. Like, very damn good. I wouldn't have met him and have been able to learn from him if I didn't go out for that opportunity. It seemed, again, it was a shadow production at a theater that was up and coming. Could have very easily let that opportunity walk me by. Because I didn't, and because I took it, because I was hungry for it, I have met some amazing, amazingly talented people, and I get to keep doing it. Make your own opportunities. If there is no theater troupe around you, head one up. Find a group of people, put on a donations only show at your local park. Like, stay hungry, stay humble. There are opportunities. You just have to make them for yourself. That's really my
Amen to
best
that.
my
That's
really best thing.
it have you noticed? I have, because 'cause I've talked with a bunch of people too. There's a lot of people from the film industry and the major things, not just film, there's music stuff. They they're starting to leave those big oversaturated hubs,
Mhm. That's not
and
where all the talent.
they're going to smaller towns because they are tired of the blah, 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 blah. But guess what? They still are an artist and they want to help out around their communities.
Yeah,
So
that
I
whole
have
I was born in LA. I know
some
everything about movies.
seasoned professionals from the industry coming up here going, "Hey,
What's up? How's it doing?
try to
Yeah.
go to LA and try to get in their office. See what happens. You're never
Yeah.
gonna get in their office.
No.
But then they're up here and you just run them at the grocery store.
And then they
They
notice
hit
your
you up.
talent.
They hit you up on email. Hey, I just found you locally.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, no, it's nice that they're actually finally leaving.
Yeah,
Because
it's
again, like even with the music industry, you have people out there that are able just to put out their own music. You don't need a record label. You just got Spotify and a sound booth, you can do it. And it's showing that people have talent even if they don't have money. And
yeah.
that's the thing.
This where I am right here. I live with my brother. This is in his garage.
Nice.
He's recording artists and he built this is a sound booth. This is a sound there's a window right here. I have a microphone that I'm not using. Like I'm in a sound booth. So once again, and he got these materials for like less than a few $100.
Yeah,
So
it's not that expensive.
like anyways, the point is like create your stuff up here in Montana or any other small place where it's hard. I tell any actor that's up here, they go, I want to go down to LA. And
Right.
I pray for everybody that's going that right now in LA. That's crazy. LA's burning up.
Oh
What?
yeah. And you
Pray
can't
that
deny
everyone
the
is safe
historic
and holy
influence.
cow.
Like, yeah, the history of movies, the movie history down in LA, like that you can't deny.
So
And my heart is so breaking for them right now. It's absolutely
also
devastating.
it's very, very scary and sad, but here's the reality of that. If a lot of that major stuff that where they make TV and film burns down, where are they gonna go? Are they gonna stay there? Are they gonna rebuild? Are they just gonna, "Hey, let's just see what other
Yeah.
places are?" So, there's a lot right now, currently, right now, as we speak, January 10th, 9th, 2025, there's a lot up in the air of the film
Yeah,
industry.
there's so much unknown right now.
Like, Texas taking off. Like, they have a 200 their tax incentives 200,000,000.
Jesus.
200,000,000!
Guess we're moving to Texas.
But, but just being here, like, I'm throwing together a sketch comedy show, like SNL style. Well, we're gonna,
Sure.
like we talked about before. I want to provide opportunities. We're growing with the acting studio. There's going to be there's more productions coming this summer. So it's just supporting the locals, supporting the talents, and just collaborating. And like you said, it's not a competition.
Mm,
It's I can't tell you, even down in LA and these other big hubs, it was a competition, and then all of a sudden, and then they the people that don't know better, and it's just a lack of education or seeking knowledge and truth. But it's like all they're taking of how Hollywood is what they see in movies
yeah, and
or they see on TV.
it's
It's
not
like
a good representation. It's
that's
really
not.
not.
Don't scream at people. We don't like negativity on
No,
set
we
because
don't do
we got to
that.
work with you, and we don't want our hair to fall out. It's
No, we
already
have to
happening. You know,
going back to that, I gotta be vulnerable with you. I gotta be emotional and like get that part open in front of you. I'm not gonna do that
there's
if I
no
know I'm
trust.
no.
Yeah. And then
There's no way.
therefore, all art is an expression of what? Emotion.
Well,
And
that's
if
what that
you're
is.
like and you're not feeling the proper emotion in the scene or for your character because external because the real world's barking at you, making you feel whatever you're supposed to be safe in imagination land. It's like,
Yeah, you can't.
"Hey, no, that's not no. You
No.
so
Well, shoot,
like the
I just
whole way of like
remember
screaming and yelling and it's like no,
that
it's
we had that scene in Nexus where, emotions are high and I'm literally breaking down sobbing. I couldn't have done that if we weren't all joking around giggling 2 minutes beforehand. Like,
Mhm.
it's important to have that give and take and that balance there. Like,
Yeah,
you need to be able to trust who you're working with in any job, but especially when, like you said, our paintbrush is our emotions. Like, that's what we work with.
yeah. We're paintbrushes of emotions. So, what exciting projects do you have coming up that you're gonna be working on that you're hoping to take on?
So I do have a couple hopefuls out right now. I can't talk too much about, but it would end with me leaving Montana to travel for shooting, which is huge bucket list for me. I'd like to travel outside
Congrats.
Montana too. Do have a short film coming out hopefully in the next couple of months called Lana Turner's Eyes. Tasha Gates and I did get to work on that one together again. Directed by Allison Adams. Great team of people there. That one, it's a short film, but it's like nitty noir like thriller vibes. It's really good there. I just finished one up in Missoula or Hamilton area called No Service. That's like a
Yep.
time travel one. That one I'm really excited for. That should be really good.
Have you
And
seen
then
like the little tiny trailer?
I saw like the tiniest little snippet of it. It looks so good. It looks so good. I'm so proud of everyone who did that. Actually, I got to bring my daughter with me when I filmed that one, so it was really fun
What
having her.
what did you do in that one?
I play the mom. I just kind of a little character for now. Hopefully, chances to get bigger. But I got to just kind of start off the feels with it. But and again, great people to work with. I got to see Zuzu and her family again, and it's just really great. Another next connection there. So it's
Yep,
just fun.
same here. I worked on it as the art department. And
Oh,
then
where were you?
so so yeah, we're different times. There was in the trailer where she's in the when she's waking up,
Hmm.
and there's like the fog around her. I was special effects. That was me again.
Nice.
And then
Ah,
I
so cool.
and then I'm one of the cops that busts the prom with
Oh, okay,
one of the main
fun.
guys. So I'm
That
just
sounds
an
fun.
extra in there.
Just give you an extra. Yeah, I played mom. I play uh Sam's mom. I think. Blanking on
Yeah,
her name.
yeah, yeah.
I gotta
No,
play
it's
that.
it's 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 a cool little movie. I'm excited for it to come out.
I'm excited. That's like cute. It's what we kind of need right now, the cute, funny stuff. I'm excited for that.
And that's that's
Uh,
what that's what I'm focusing on, like just bringing like that sketch comedy. Like I'm focused on a lot of comedy. I want to
good.
just do comedy, a lot of it right now, because it's like I don't know. There's a lot of darkness, and I want to bring back the early 2000s comedy. Not that's like vulgar, but just like I don't know,
Just carefree. Just the
carefree.
carefree fun
I'm not
stuff.
here to
Yeah.
offend people, but I'm also not gonna let their possibility of being offended affect my comedy.
Yeah.
So
No, I
it's
feel that. I always called them teenage get laid flicks. Like those were my favorite. American Pie.
yeah,
Those, yeah, those are fun.
classics,
Fun. Classics.
classics,
I don't think
classics.
anyone in our age demographic can hear this one time at band camp without finishing the quote.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So
But
when people look back at your career, what do you hope they remember most about your work and your story?
honestly, I just want to be remembered for being positive. Like, I don't want to ever, be known as saying anything negative about someone or like getting into those fights that are starlets are known or supposedly known for getting into. I just want to be known as like someone who's fun to work with, who like just has a good time. And honestly, as far as like my work goes, especially since I'm getting into screenwriting too, I just want to be someone who's raw, someone who can connect with people, someone who looks, someone can come see a movie or a film that I'm in or that I write and just like have that kind of emotional feeling of being seen. Because I know, like, when I first started writing, I was a senior in high school and I was in speech and drama, and there wasn't a monologue that I connected with. There wasn't anything that I felt that I could pour my heart and soul into well enough that hadn't already been done or beaten down with a stick and had everyone else do it. So I wrote my own. And honestly, I had people coming up to me
Do
like,
you
wow,
know
that
it?
was, I
Do
mean,
you have,
I
do you
do.
have it in your pocket?
I've been thinking about like producing it. Well, we'll see. It's just
Oh,
like
no,
a little,
can you say it right now?
I mean, it's 10 minutes long, but yeah,
Oh,
probably.
it's okay. Never mind. I thought it was like a few minutes. I would love
Yeah,
to hear
no,
it.
it's a 10
Dang, you
minute,
have a
it's a
10
whole
minute, you have a 10-minute monologue.
10-minute monologue, and I self-wrote it
Give a
senior
round of
year.
applause, everybody. Give a round of applause. 10-minute monologue. Holy shenanigans.
Shit, now I've been playing around with the idea of just like recording it and putting it out as a short because it's just
Well,
seriously, it's an admission of murder. It's a girl who killed someone having her like, yeah, I did it and here's why. And it's so and I was 16 when I wrote it. I probably should have seen a therapist, but
hey, that's what, you're writing out your feelings. You're not acting on them. You're just writing them out. You're getting them out. So that's
exactly.
healthy. You're good.
But so and I had people come up to me like, "Wow, that was raw. That was really emotional." And that was like, "Okay, I want people to have that connection. I want to have like that visceral feeling of, oh shit, that was real." Like, I don't know if you've seen the movie Mother with Jennifer Lawrence and Javier Bardem.
Yeah,
Oh,
I have to watch it again. It was a weird one. I didn't understand what I
it's
was watching
weird.
the
It was
first
one
time.
of the first movies in a long time that I actually like felt anxious. I felt like I wanted
Oh
to
yeah,
tear my skin off because it was
it was
so
intense.
well done. So well done. And I want to be able to give that. I want people to feel like what's happening and like be part of it because when you leave a movie feeling like you were part of it or like went through the same thing, that impacts you for a while. Like
It
that stays
does.
with you for a minute. And that's what I want to be known, like someone who's impactful, someone who's kind, someone who like again, I don't ever want to say bad things about people. It's just not worth it. It's really
Yeah,
not. I
yeah.
just
I feel you.
and if there is negativity out there, just gonna move past it. It's not worth it.
It's not anymore.
It's really
I've
not.
come a we've come a long way. I've come a long way in that sense of just more sitting back and just listening and just loving thy neighbor as thyself and, not
That's
sweat the
really it.
small stuff. Just
Life's more
it,
enjoyable when you love.
yeah.
That's it. It really is.
All right, so this is coming down to the last part of it. I like to ask kind of, you remember inside the actor studio, the little
Two.
questions. I tweaked my own little questions. So I wanna ask you these. Very quick. It could be a few words, one and more answers. What's your favorite word?
Spontaneous.
What's your least favorite word?
I like words. Oh. I even like moist. I don't know.
Okay, what turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Vulnerability. People actually being willing to like give you honest, open answers and be raw with you. Because I feel then you can bounce with that and work with it. If you're going to be closed off, there's nothing to work with.
Yeah. What turns you off?
Assholes and ego
Mm.
turns me off more than anything.
What sound or noise do you love?
Weird. I like the sound that the TS makes, like it's like tsunami. It's a weird. I like the. I don't know why.
Hey, there's no right or wrong about this. I get it. I get it. What sound or noise do you hate?
Chewing bubble gum. Like chew it if you want to, but keep it closed.
What is your favorite curse word?
Fuck.
What profession would you like not or okay, what profession would you not like to do?
Like anything in finances, like hedge fund or anything like that. No,
Okay.
no finances.
If heaven exists, I believe it does, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Well done.
I
Well
like
done.
that. Yeah. Well done. Well done. Well, that wraps up our time here, Melanie. Everybody, Melanie went with, somewhere in Montana. She's in that with myself, being released tomorrow. Look at the
All right.
locations tomorrow at selected theaters, Wyoming, Montana, Utah, a bunch of other places, Arizona. Go look them up on next or somewhere in Montana. Um, Thank you, Melanie. I will
Thank you,
be
Jared.
seeing you. Thank you for being a supportive over in Butte.
Of course.
Always a pleasure. Always good to see you. We'll be seeing each other soon, connecting once again. But everybody, love God, love people, treat thy neighbor as thyself. Go in peace, and also just seek your own truth, and just have a good day. Yep, absolutely. You guys have a good one. Take care,
Thanks,
and
guys.
see you later.
Bye.
Bye. I never know how to end these things. Always the button. Is it up here or